What's going on, everybody? I have a huge video for you today. I'm going to be giving you guys updated Profit Trailer PT feeder settings. We're going to go over pretty much everything Profit Trailer. I'm going to touch on Profit Trailer version 2, give you guys a little sneak peek. I did that in my last video, but I have a little more information today. I'm going to go over briefly a really kind of sneaky way to get out of some really heavy bags. And so stay tuned for that, because I'm going to outline it on a very in-depth on a different video, but I just wanted to kind of give you guys a brief outlook on how I'm going to be doing that. And then I'm going to talk about some of the cool features that might be coming in Profit Trailer version 2. And then I'm going to go over my settings one by one and kind of explain, and that might be when some of the more experienced people kind of check out of the video. Don't blame you, but I'm going to go over kind of more in depth on what each setting does and how it, affects your bot. For all the people who are just joining us on this channel, that's something that has been highly requested. Basically, what you're looking at here is my sales log for the past about 5 days. Have 129 sales, and it's very low dollar value, right? Like 27 cents per trade. It's not something you want to be doing all the time, because then you're going to have a nightmare, a huge headache when you're calculating taxes next year. But this is basically just a test for me on these new settings. And especially when we're in kind of an uncertain market, we don't really know where Bitcoin is, where it's headed. If you follow my trading videos, the TA stuff, stay tuned for that. I'll be doing update videos on that tomorrow and the following day, but today is just mainly Profit Trailer. But yeah, like I said, so right here on the 11th just started according to the UTC time zone at 3 hours and 40 minutes ago. We've had a decent amount of trades, 10 trades so far. And, that's not terrible. And if we were using a higher max cost in our applications folder and PT feeder, we would definitely see higher returns, in US dollar value. So I'm happy with the way it's going. I mean, if you look at the profit percentages, 1.55, 1.09, definitely we're averaging probably right around 1%, maybe just above 1% for the day. So that's pretty good. One thing I wanted to get in, I have no shame. I'm just going to show you my pairs log, and I'll give you a reason why. So basically, I was running Profit Trailer well before the big run up to 20,000. And so I got caught in some really nasty bags here. Obviously negative 63%. I put all of these coins in watch mode, so Profit Trailer is no longer looking at any of these coins. And basically just because I'm holding them, and I have a bit of a strategy that I'm going to use to get rid of these negative bags. And basically I'll be outlining this more in depth in a later video, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to be dividing these coins up into 10 or 15 parts, right? And what I'll do is I've already gotten rid of 2 really deep bags doing this strategy. So one of them was at negative 50 and one was about negative 48%. So they were like right around negative 50%. And what I did was I calculated my bot cost. So here Profit Trailer has calculated these ones. These ones got lost, and so you'll just have to go into Binance and look into what you actually purchased these coins for. But basically, then I look at my total amount of coins and how much they're going for on the open market, and I will divide this by 10 or 15 different parts. Okay. And so once I have one part of those, so 316 divided by, we'll say by 15, and this is definitely a strategy that is going to take some effort. If you want to make money, you're going to have to put in some effort, especially if you got caught in some really negative bags. But say 316 coins divided by 15 is about 21. So what I'll do is I will keep 21 coins, and I'm going to sell 295 coins on the open market. Okay. And so now I only have 21 trig coins. What I'm going to do next, as you can see, trig went up 7.7% today. So now I have roughly, 21 coins. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to jump in and I'm going to buy maybe 50 to 100. And I'm going to outline exactly the math in my next video, but I'm going to buy another 50 or 100 of them. And I'm dollar cost averaging my way down little by little. And so now Profit Trailer is going to have trig with a much lower percentage in the negative, and I'm going to be able to get out of this one bag quick. It's going to sell relatively fast, and you can place pending orders in Binance, and you can just place a limit order for whatever percent you want to sell at. You don't even have to go through Profit Trailer if you don't want. But I've gotten out of 2 bags doing this. I've broken it up into like 15 parts, and basically I had to buy and sell 15 times myself. So it is a bit of effort, but I came out well in the positive. So I ended up on the one that was negative 48%. I came up positive like 14%, and I'll show you guys all the math and everything in the next video, but that's just one way, because the reason is that we're having such trouble getting out of these negative bags is because like DCA and Profit Trailer is the Anderson double down if you're using that strategy. And more or less what that does is it doubles your coin value every time you DCA. And so it can eat up a ton of cost. And so if you don't have, tens of thousands of dollars to DCA 5 or 6 times and you're using a big max cost, you can really get stuck, and then you just kind of have to wait for 6 to 12 months to get out of these bags. So I'm kind of being proactive and trying to get out quicker. So that's why I wanted to show you this, because I'm going to be doing that for all of them. And if you think 15 times, say 7 or 8 of these coins I want to get out of, it's going to be a lot of effort, but it works because you end up in a 12% profit instead of negative 64% profit or whatever it is, right? So now that I got that out of here, we're going to talk about Profit Trailer version 2. Excuse me. Here we are. You can come to profittrailer.com and you can go to live demo, and basically it'll bring you to a page like this. What's really awesome about Profit Trailer 2.0 is the indicators. Let's see, DCA. We can go down to DCA, and you can now buy. Right here it's showing 3 different indicators. Low BB, RSI, min buy volume. You're going to be able to use multiple indicators to buy one coin, which is really awesome. Right now we're using just one indicator, low BB or EMA gain or EMA spread. Now this is going to be super sick for us because we're going to be able to really ensure that we have good profits and good trades that are coming out. So we can go to our pairs log, and you can go down and see exactly what they're using. They're using the stochastic RSI. That's pretty awesome. And as you can see, default buy strategy A and default buy strategy B. So they have 2 different indicators that they're using to buy, which is pretty awesome. I'm pretty stoked about that. I think it's really going to allow us to get into better trades. And then also when it comes to selling, you're able to sell based on a gain or an RSI or both. And it won't sell anything until both of these are triggered as true. And so that's pretty cool. If you look at the pairs, I guess their test bot doesn't have any pairs. Go to possible buy log. It's looking at all of these, and it doesn't look like any of them are true at the moment. But this is really cool. This is going to be cool stuff. So you can come here and mess around. You can go to the indicators folders, and you can see that you can actually change the width of the Bollinger Band. You can change all of this stuff now, which is kind of cool. Just cool updates. So the next thing about Profit Trailer version 2 is this, and I'm sure a lot of you have seen PT Tracker. So basically what this does is it tracks your profits. It's not essential to have on Profit Trailer or PT Feeder. I actually never sold any of these. I never showed anybody this, but this is a really cool tool, and I've seen a lot of other YouTubers use this. But what's cool, and if you have Profit Trailer, you will see this. If you go down to buy, it says important news. PT Tracker is teamed up with Profit Trailer to help develop the new GUI for future Profit Trailer releases. Purchase PT Tracker only if you demand tracking now, as it will be available to PT license holders sometime in the near future. So this is actually really cool. I'm really excited about this. We're going to get this for free if you own a PT license. And if you don't own a Profit Trailer license, one thing that I want to make very clear is that word on the street is that Profit Trailer, where is Profit Trailer? I guess I don't have it pulled up anymore. Word on the street is that Profit Trailer is the new version, version 2, is being launched on April 16th. And what I've heard is that they are entertaining the idea of going to a subscription-based business model. Now, they also, the word on the street is that everybody who owns a license now is going to be grandfathered in and won't have to pay that subscription fee. So if you're thinking about getting Profit Trailer, I recommend jumping in. And I am almost positive after seeing this news with PT Tracker teaming up with Profit Trailer, I would be almost certain that PT Feeder is on the forefront of the development as well. And they will be launching, I don't know if they're going the subscription model, but I'm sure that PT Tracker in the future, or PT Feeder in the future, will be compatible with the new Profit Trailer version. So you can buy all of this stuff here if you want to go to cryptoprofitbot.com. I'll leave the link in the description. You can buy all of the stuff here. They even have installation if you need help installing Profit Trailer or PT Feeder. They have pretty much anything you could want here, which is cool. Or if you just want to go to profittrailer.com and get the Profit Trailer bot, I'll leave that link in the description as well. And you can just get it directly from the source. But I recommend getting it before April 16th. So with that, we're going to jump into the settings before this video gets too long. So we're in the app settings folder of PT Feeder. I apologize that it is kind of small. Let me go into this. And we're just going to use Cardano. I like to use Cardano. I don't know why. It's just the first one that comes to mind. So, app settings. Basically, this is what runs your Profit Trailer bot if you have PT Feeder. This is the bread and butter right here. You have your base currency. This is what kind of pairs you're trying to trade. If you want to trade Bitcoin, you put BTC up here. If you want to trade Ethereum pairs, you put Ethereum up here. I've definitely been testing Ethereum and it has been performing, but for some reason my Bitcoin bot has been doing really well the past 4 or 5 days, and that's been a real good thing to see. The buy strategy here is EMA gain, and what you can do if you don't know what your buy strategy is or you don't know what these mean, basically, I can just show you, but we can go into Profit Feeder, the wiki here, Profit Trailer wiki, and where's the buy strategies? Buy and sell strategies down here under trading, and we can look up EMA gain. These are all the different buy strategies that you can use. So if we go down here, I think I just passed it. EMA gain, here it is. So it's buy as soon as the price goes below the specified EMA line. So basically, you're going to have 2 EMA lines in whatever folder you're using. So you have your, this is DCA. This is my indicators folder. This is what we're looking for. So we have 2 EMA lines, a 24 and a 3. This is your slow exponential moving average. This is your fast exponential moving average. And you have a 24 period and a 3 period. And then this is your time frame. So this is in seconds. So 300 seconds would be a 5-minute candle. And you would draw your 2 EMAs. So we had 24 and 3. And this is for our boring folder. So if you have your configuration pulled up here, this is your config folder. And this is our boring, or this is our bull folder, actually. I apologize. So as you can see here, let's close that. So we have, okay, I apologize. For our bull folder, our indicators text file shows 24 and 5. So what we're going to do is we're going to, can't get rid of these. Go up here to indicators, EMA. Pop 2 of those in. I think I need to get rid of the volume here. I should just log in. Okay, so 24 and 5. And let's hide the low BB. And let's put that on there. Okay, so now you can kind of see, let's blow this one up a bit. You have a blue and a red. So the blue one is your fast exponential moving average. And the red is your slow moving average. And so we'll go back into our applications folder. So now the next one is very important. You have a negative 0.9%. All right, so the next one is actually really important. This is your buy value. So we're sitting at negative 0.9%. So what you're going to do is you're going to look back into your trading view here, and using this strategy EMA gain, you're basically taking the lowest of the two EMA lines, and you're going to go negative 0.9% from that line. And that's where your bot will look to buy. So in real time, your bot would be looking to purchase during this red candle right here. And so the same thing sort of happens with anything. It doesn't matter what line is lower. It just matters that it's negative 0.9% or whatever you put in for your buy value here. And so that's kind of important. The next is max cost. And basically I have this set to 2. Some people will say, oh, that's still way too high. When you start DCAing, you can get into some really big max costs. And so we'll kind of get into what this means real quick. So if you're going to DCA, basically what that is your dollar cost averaging your way down. And the way the DCA strategy that I use is Anderson double down. And basically you're doubling your amount of tokens every time you DCA. So as you can imagine, you buy 100 tokens and then you double down and then you buy another 100 tokens and then you double down again and you buy 200 tokens and then you double down again and then you end up buying 400 tokens. And as you can see, that will really eat up your Bitcoin balance as time goes on. And so that's kind of why I was talking about at the beginning of a video, my kind of different strategy to get out of some of these really negative bags, because if you really did want to double down and continually double down like that, it can take up all of your Bitcoin. So I use 2% and I think it's pretty conservative. And the reason I say that is because my DCA files are a lot different than most. I only DCA 3 times and I DCA really fast at -3. And then I DCA one more time really quick, once again at -3.5. And then I DCA a third time finally at -10. And the reason I DCA so quick between the first two is because of this. So we're in 5-minute candles still. Basically, if you look at a time, we'll go back in time a little bit. So maybe like in this region, say your bot purchased all the way at the top, which it wouldn't because we have correct settings and Profit Trailer really wouldn't let you do this. But say you did, just by some freak accident. You bought all the way up here and then you end up DCAing down at 3 down here. So you double your coin value here and then you continually go down another 3.5%. So somewhere in like this region, I can't even go that low, but it would be somewhere in here, okay? You would be DCAing somewhere in this region. Again, for the second time. Now, my outlook on that is, okay, I'm hoping that now my average cost is not all the way up here. It's not even all the way in here. It's somewhere like up in this region. So hopefully I can get out of that bag in a reasonable amount of time instead of, holding on to it forever and waiting for it to go another 7 or 8% down. I want to DCA really quick so I can get out of it. And, maybe you could have gotten out of it here, maybe here. And if you didn't, then hopefully you could have gotten out of it in here. And then I have that longer term DCA at -10, just because if it does continually go down, I want it to DCA pretty much as low as I'm comfortable going. So maybe all the way down here. Let's just take a look at this percentage drop from here all the way down. So -8. It wouldn't even have DCA'd my last time, but -10 would have been somewhere in this range. And basically, at that point, my average cost is going to be somewhere in this region, like somewhere in here. And hopefully I can continue on and get out of this bag somewhere up in here, maybe up in this big green candle here, and then I'll be on my way. I don't want this bag anymore. It was a fun ride while it lasted, but I don't want it anymore. And that's my outlook on my DCAs. And then I have the stop loss trigger at -15%. If it continually goes down, like you saw in the beginning of the video when I was, deep in those 60% bags, this is what happened. I didn't have a stop loss trigger up. I didn't have some of these market condition folders set up correctly. And I ended up in just really negative bags because I wasn't utilizing the DCA properly. So that's kind of my outlook. And that's why I use max cost of 2. DCA enabled is true. DCA max buy spread is 1. DCA max buy times, as I said, I'm going to DCA 3 times. DCA max cost, this is basically the max cost you're allowing Profit Trailer to use in DCA. If it's set to 0, this is ignored. So it'll use up all of your Bitcoin to DCA. So be careful with that. If you run a higher max cost, I would keep this maybe a little higher as well. If you have your max cost set to like 5 or 6%, I recommend keeping this up a little bit as well. My DCA min buy balance is 15% of my total Bitcoin value. A lot of people use 0. A lot of people are okay with just using the rest of their Bitcoin to DCA and get out of bags. I prefer to keep 15% of my Bitcoin all the time, no matter what. DCA sell trigger, this is basically where I want my DCA bags to sell, is at 0.5% gain. My DCA sell strategy is gain, sell value 0.5 once again. DCA trailing buy, this is when you're DCAing, it's going to trail on the way down. So that way you are buying at the complete bottom. So it'll trail down 0.15% and it's going to wait for the DCA trailing profit of 0.15. It's the same idea. Those are the two same ideas, but in reverse. So basically it's going to trail down 0.15% until it's going to continue down on the way down. We're using an EMA gain strategy on the way down. So it's going to trail it down to -9%, right? So it's going to trail it down somewhere in there, assuming that candle went all the way down. And what the DCA trailing buy is going to do, it's going to wait until it pops back up 0.15%. So that way you see a little green. So we'll go like this, -0.9, and it wouldn't buy right at -0.9%. It would continue down, and trail it so it hits the bottom. Because you don't want to buy on the downtrend. It wants to buy on the way back up. And so I keep it a little bit tight. So this would have kept going. And then as you see, the next candle comes way up here. So it would have purchased somewhere in this region. And we would have found the bottom, which would have been nice. That's basically the whole point. And then the same thing with trailing profit is the same idea. My DCA profit or my DCA sell value is at 0.5. So it's going to look for 0.5%. Now, if it keeps going up, so maybe we'll look for a bigger green candle. Maybe this one. It's not even there either. Okay, this is perfect. So if we were looking to sell here at 0.5% profit and it just automatically sold at 0.5, you'd have been screwed out on all this gain. So what it does is it follows it up 0.15% each time until it starts to go back down. Now, this one would have been awesome to ride this all the way up because you probably would have rode a 3% gain. That would have been nice. So that's what that is. Excluded coins, basically these are the coins I don't want to trade, just for whatever reasons. So I have these coins put in there. I don't recommend copying these. The reason for that is I use these coins because I bought them previously in the rise and I want to hold on to these coins and get out of these bags on my own terms. So I put them in watch mode. Sell only mode coins. These are a lot of coins that I've just collected as sort of coins I don't want to trade, maybe pump and dumps or low volume coins. I just don't feel necessary to trade. You guys can trade any of these you want. I don't really care. That's just my own outlook on those. Max buy spread, not really important. Trailing buy, the same idea from up here. The DCA trailing buy, we just went over that. But this is for your regular pairs folder. Same with trailing profit. Let's see, the min buy balance. This is basically saying that I want to hold 5% Bitcoin no matter what. Do not purchase pairs with my remaining 5% Bitcoin. So that's just what I have it set to. A lot of people keep that to like 30 or 40%. I'm just trying to trade with a lot of my Bitcoin as much as possible. So min buy price set to a really low number. This is in Bitcoin. Min buy volume, 350. This is just the amount of Bitcoin that is being traded on each coin in a 24-hour time frame. Minutes for longer term trend is 1440. That's 1 day. Minutes to measure trend is 30. That's a 30-minute trend. So this is your short-term and your long-term trends. My max trading pairs is set to 23. So Profit Trailer, we're basically just going to sell only mode once you have 23 pairs. My sell value right now is at 0.8. So just because I don't know exactly where Bitcoin's going, how deep it's going to fall, whatever, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm trying to get out around 0.8%. And as you can see with my monitor, we have gotten out of trades well above 0.8% due to that trailing profit. And you can see here, we have some just below. That's because it reached 0.8 and then it dipped immediately and then it sold immediately. Same thing here. But we had a nice one. We rode via coin to 3.53%. So that was nice. Let's go back to this. Okay, let's get into the bread and butter. This is the important stuff. This is the market conditions folder. I'm just going to try and breeze through this, but you have your super bear, your boring, your bull, and your super bull folders. And those are here. And basically what you're telling Profit Trailer and PT Feeder to do is if the max coin top average change, geez, a tongue twister, is negative 3%. So you're looking for the longer term trend is if this is at negative 3%, this guy here actually, minutes to measure trend, you want it to be in the super bear folder. And you want to update your indicators in your super bear folder accordingly. So I'm a lot more conservative with my buying strategies in here. And I actually have DC enable false and I have sell only mode as true in super bear. Because when we're in a super bear market, I don't want to get caught in bad trades. Basically, bear folder, I have this set up where I want to use low BB in my bear folder. And reason for that is I found that low BB, the buying strategy, is better in a bearish market. And we can show you what that looks like here. I did not mean to press that. I meant to press that. Hide those. And this is your Bollinger Band. So if we look at this, the red is where we would end up buying. So as you can see, we wouldn't have bought much recently, but in a more bearish trend, you end up buying at more or less the lows, which is really nice. Same here. You would have bought there. You would have sold up here. So that's why I like to use the Bollinger Bands. Basically what these are, the buy value is at negative 20. And as you can see, you can go in here and you can adjust. Basically what this negative 20 is 20% below the low BB line. And that's where it would look to start buying. So anytime the price gets into that region, it looks to buy. Let's go back here. DCA trailing profit offset. Basically, these are just percentages. You would just take this percentage, you go up to DCA trailing profit, and you times that by negative 15%. So DCA trailing profit right here. 0.15 times negative 15%, and that is the new value that Profit Trailer will use when it is in the bear folder. And all of the offsets work relatively the same way. So DCA sell value offset would be the sell value of your DCA is 0.5. Now times that by negative 10%. And that is basically what you're working with. I guess you don't multiply it by negative 10%. You multiply it by negative 10%. And subtract it from this number, okay? If that makes sense. Let me just do the math for you guys. So basically this DCA sell value offset at negative 10% is just going to take 10% off of your sell value, and that'll leave you with 0.5 times 10% is 0.05. 0.5 minus 0.05 is 0.45, and that is what you would sell at 0.45% profit. Same thing goes for all of the rest. You can go to the GitHub and download these settings if you want, but basically I use the bull in the bull folder. It goes up to the EMA gain strategy, and that is what it uses as default if you don't specify a buy strategy down here. So that's basically what I'm using there. So basically, if we just take a quick peek into the bull folders, basically, yeah, it's the max top coin average changes at 2. We're using like I just said, we're using the buy strategy of EMA gain. These are like your base settings. Down here are like the offsetted settings, whatever you want to change things to. And so, like I said, I changed these to low BB, these folders. And then these folders are still using the base settings up top. And the only thing that changes from these base settings up top are these offsets, right? So in the bull folder, we're offsetting our DCA trailing buy. So just go up and look at your DCA trailing buy and calculate your offset. So DCA trailing buy, where is that? Right here is at 0.15. It's negative 10% of that. So you're subtracting 10% off of this 0.15. So if that makes sense, and then DCA trailing profit, you're looking for DCA trailing profit, which is right here at 0.15. And I'm offsetting that by positive 10%. So I'm increasing the trailing profit of my DCA when I'm in a bull folder, because clearly when you're in a bull market, you should be trying to catch more of a profit, right? So that's what I'm doing there. My DCA sell value offset, same idea. I'm trying to sell a little bit higher in a bull market. So you go to DCA sell value, which I believe is at 0.5, and I'm increasing that by 10%. So that would be selling at 0.55%. So you can adjust these as you please and as you see fit, which is kind of nice. So in the Super Bowl folder, this is an arbitrary number. It's something that you don't expect ever to be hit, especially in our short-term 30-minute candles. 10,000% would be kind of wild. This is just kind of your high end, and then your low end is anything below negative 3%. So basically, DCA trailing buy offset is at negative 20. I just kind of increased everything in a Super Bowl market. So my min buy balance is offsetted by 5%, and that's because when I'm in a bull market, I want to be able to buy more coins. So my min buy balance will be increased by 5%. This actually should be a negative now that I'm looking at it, because I want that decreased. So there you go. Caught an error right there. So that's good. These price trend changes, this basically is just kind of protecting you from sudden swings in the market. So if a price trend changes, by negative 5%, you can offset certain things. And these are all the same offsets and they work the same way. You just have to calculate them by going up to whatever it is, buy value. And then it says offset at the end of it. Just go up and look for your buy value and calculate it based on whatever percentage you put in here. So with that said, guys, that's basically the overview of my settings and kind of how each of them work. If you need any more clarification, leave a comment below and I'll do my best to answer. But yeah, I mean, like I said, Profit Trailer version 2 is coming out April 16th. I recommend snagging a copy before then. Hopefully we will get some PT tracker information in the update. I think that'll be something really cool that we can start tracking a little bit better than just kind of looking at our monitor. I know the monitor page will be a lot more slick in the new update, so I'm looking forward to that. With that said, guys, please comment, subscribe to the channel, leave a thumbs up if you got any value out of this video, and I will catch you in the next one. Take it easy, guys.